Hello and welcome to Locarno Asconza for the first round of the Orienteering World Cup 2026. We have got 3 sprint races coming up for you this weekend, starting with the individual sprint today. We will move on to the sprint relay tomorrow and end with the knockout sprint. And every day they're going to be making their way through the streets of Locarno and Ascona here in the very south of Switzerland. This is the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland, very close to the Swiss border. And you can see some of the Swiss legends. This is Elena Roos, who's from this region, retired now from the national team, but showing you how it is done around what is her backyard. And all of the finishes will happen here in the Grand Square in Locarno. And we've actually had quite a few runners out there in the terrain already, so we'll bring you a recap a little bit of what's been going on there, and we'll talk you through the races, because you know it's the first race of this Orienteering World Cup, an orienteering season that has a Sprint World Championships. It's what a lot of the athletes have been working towards this whole winter, getting in sprint shape, and it's their first opportunity to test themselves against all of the other top athletes. So a lot riding on this first World Cup in this sprint to really see how that winter's gone. Are you sprint ready? What still needs to be done? And I tell you what, it is a glorious day here. Mid-20s, it is warm in the sunshine. There's a little bit of wind, but in amongst the buildings, you really don't feel that at all. And especially for those coming from Northern Europe, it's going to be a bit of a shock, I think, running here. You know, some of the Swedes and the Norwegians have only had 15 degrees so far this spring. Coming down here, it's going to be a bit tricky for them, but you know they're all very seasoned athletes. They will be able to deal with that. That's the last control here. You can see there's all these little funnels. You can leave the buildings and go into the square to punch out last controls. That will figure certainly here. Decent crowd already, but considering it's a Friday, I think it's pretty good, and we will certainly see more people around this weekend with some national competitions as well. This is a recap of what's been going on so far already. This is the quarantine area, so the athletes have to stay here, do all their preparations, just take a little bit of a nap sometimes, because obviously they are not allowed to see what the people before them have done. The whole map is entirely a secret, where the start is, where all the controls are, where any of the barriers are, of course, and they are not allowed to see where everyone has gone. And if it's your first World Cup, for a lot of these teams, some of the early runners out today, it's their first World Cup. It can be quite tricky experiencing a quarantine like this for the first time and seeing some of the legends of the sport just walk past you in the corridor. We've got Yannick Michels there, who'll be one of the last starters in the men's race. It can be quite tricky for some of those less experienced runners to, you know, keep calm when it comes to the quarantine and the start as well. We focus on the men's race first, 3.9 kilometers. And actually, Jonas, they haven't been told how far the races are today.
That's right. It's the very first time they haven't been given those information. And it makes it a bit harder to plan the course and beforehand, because what you do usually is trying to guess, like with the distance and with the numbers of meter climbing, where the course possibly goes. They didn't have that information. Now we take a look at the map. So to start off the arena, start with the 2 quite easy controls. There is a route choice to control 1, and then from control 3 we head into this. It's like a village in the city, and this one is tricky here. It's not really tricky, I mean, to find the controls, but it's a very old kind of part of the city, and buildings are kind of round, and it's hard to find the right passage through the buildings. Technically, the difficulty really is to not get behind in your head when you're reading the map. So this is tricky one. First TV control at 8, continues for a couple more controls in this village, and then from control 11 to 12, I would say one of the most decisive parts of this course today. It's a long route, by far the longest one of the course. You have different options here, how you can tackle this one. We're gonna get another view on that later on. this is control 12 then. They have a map change here. Earlier in the race at control 6, I think, they have a map flip as well. But here they have the map change. And it's basically only to not give them a chance on the long leg to read ahead and get some information, because it's very intense just after this map change again. And then switch again in terrain from, I would say, control 14, 15. It's this very classical Central Europe, Old Town orienteering, sprint orienteering, with a couple of artificial fences. Interesting route choice, 16, 17. We're going to get a look at that one more closely very soon as well. But this is the course, I would say 3 parts. At the beginning with the village, very high intensity and quite difficult actually. And then you have the long leg 11, 12 and this a bit easier part in the very end. So here you have the different options. The shortest one, if you go north, but you have to do about 15 meters climb. It's quite a tough one. When you get there, you're a bit surprised how steep it is actually. But the downhill is quite smooth, so I think it's rather easy to execute. Then the other option is this purple one, where you have to actually run away from the control in the beginning, which makes it very hard to guess how far, like to compare the different routes to each other. But you have to see a bit how it develops throughout the course. We didn't have the GPS from the athlete so far, so we can't give you really which one was the quickest. The shortest, of course, is the red one, but you can also see it's 950 meters compared to about 1050 meters, but the 50 meters climb usually is around 100 additional meters flat running, so that's going to be an interesting one. Then this one in the very end of the course with small passages. You see the red option here is the shortest one, but you have to go through these really, really small passages in the middle of the leg.
Yeah, where it's very dark.
It is very dark, and it's like, it's hard to see whether you run into a shop or if you run into this passage in between. So you have to be very, very careful here. And this is the very end of the course. So after control 17, you have you have 2 controls left, basically one more on the course. I have 1 control left, I think. You can see it here, 390 meters if you take the red one. It's a bit trickier to execute, maybe it slows you down in the middle when you have to look for this passage, but they are about the same, I would say, if you execute them well.
Well, we'll see. We'll have the GPS up and we'll be able to keep track of how those route choices are shaping up, already proving, I think, very decisive with the earlier starters. This is the start list then, as you can see at this point, going off at 90-second intervals. And as usual, when it comes to World Cup, we have our best athletes going off last. And as always, this point in the broadcast, Jonas, I'm going to ask you to pick out your favourites.
My favorite for today, because he was so good in the preseason races, is Thomas Heikkilä. Even though I have to say, I don't think he has ever won an individual sprint in the World Cup, so that would be a first-timer. I think if he gets through the first part and has a decent long leg, then he has a very good chance to win it. But of course, we have other runners as well. And I put so many ifs in front of Thomas Heikkilä now that I can tell you the others one as well. Kasper Fosser, of course, is one of the favorites. Yannick Michels. I would also put in Timo Suter, was quite good in early races. Matthias Bachuswale and maybe Fabian Aberson.
This is the current leader, though. This is Benjamin Way from Switzerland, who's just usurped Pete Malloy at the top of the standing, so he takes the leader's chair.
I just want to add one thing to this speculation. It's quite an intense course, and especially in the beginning, it's very, very hard to run full speed.
Yeah.
It's really the map that decides the speed. And in a course like this, I would say that it opens up very much for very experienced runners like, for example, Daniel Hoopman. But I don't think he's a favorite for the victory, but he can do really good in a course like this.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You can't, you can have that really top high speed, but you can't get there on the whole of the first part of the race. You can on that long leg though, and that might really make, and that leg is so long that you're going to win a lot of time.
Sometimes you can get up
really
there
well.
for about 20 or 30 meters, but you have to be very, very careful when doing it, and it's a bit of stop and go, and kind of playing with the speed all the time.
So we just saw Håvard Mo, Norwegian runner, running out there into control number 1. There is a route choice already when you get to control number 1. A barrier in the way, proving tricky. So lots of challenge immediately. And look, we were discussing the map earlier. There's like one straightforward leg that's a bit of a transportation leg. Every other leg has challenge to it, right?
Yeah, it's either left or right on almost every control. You get a bit of time towards the end at one control. You get a bit of time in this very intense first part at one control, but we're talking about 15 to 20 seconds, and then you have to go and go into with everything you have, full focus on the map again.
So we're waiting for Florian Attinger here. This is roundabout control 12, so we can have a look at his route here. Florian Attinger, the Swiss runner, was 4th at the World Cup in Genoa.
And I mean, the advantage here, you've seen it, you exit the control, it's very easy to execute this leg once you have decided. The tricky part when you plan it, actually, you have first, it's a bit strange because first you have to plan where can you actually exit the control, either to the north or then to the west. And then the second thing you have to do is how can I approach control 12? And once you have decided that, you can kind of fill in the middle section of it when you're planning it. That makes it quite difficult. And also difficult to compare, because in one option you run out north, the other one you run out west, and makes it a bit difficult to guess the distance.
This is Florian Attinger taking the left-hand turn. He's going to run up this street for a bit and then take another left to get into control 12. That's where we will stop the clock. He was actually the same time as Benjamin Way on the previous control, so we can tell he's already lost time on this route choice. And this is where he's going to punch his control and do the map exchange as well. He looks to his right to see how does it all work. It should be fairly straightforward. At this point, he's going to drop his map and pick up the next one. And the orienteering basically starts straight away. This is super, super tricky.
And I talked to Simone Nickli before the race, and she said when she was pre-running, it was very difficult because the compass, this part, there was something in the building that had an impact on the compass. So you can't she could rely on the compass there. I wasn't running with a compass, so I can't tell you. But if you see anyone,
I wasn't looking at my compass then. Okay, that's interesting. And yeah, you could see Florian Attinger there just completely went the wrong way and had to go out. And it's so hard. The next control is basically immediately there, and you have to make a route choice to it as well. That was Arni Ronkanen going into 4th place, by the way. Here's Axel Granqvist for Sweden. Axel Granqvist made the final of the knockout sprint at the European Champs in Belgium last year, and here he is. This is our first look at TV control number 1. So Ronkanen, who we just saw there at the finish, was leading at that point. And at this point, Axel Granqvist in equal 3rd, just 5 seconds down. Here's another look at our current leader, Benjamin Way, sitting there in the leader's chair. He is actually under an umbrella to offer him a bit of shade, which is very, very needed in the hot sun today. And his time, 14 minutes and 19 seconds. Our estimated winning time today, 13 minutes 40, I think, if I remember.
It is.
So 40 seconds off that estimated winning time.
And about 14 and a half for the women later on.
So here's Jonas Hubacek from Czechia next to start. You can see in this little garden here, we've got the start gate, the map on top of the podium. He's looking ahead at the start clock, and there he goes, immediately folding up that map and making his route choice to that first control. Passing the start kite, that's what the kite is on the left there, which of course he doesn't have to punch, and keeps going from there as well. So much work, so many volunteers and helpers out there to stop the traffic, as you see the cars keeping crossing there. Let's do a comparison then of this GPS.
See 2 different options here, Florian Attinger and Quentin Andrieux. It's really hard to do this comparison so far because we haven't seen that many runners. I think with the GPS, only one that's headed out to the north. So we have to wait a bit to get a feedback on this one. Yeah, here you have to go up. But you can see here, definitely you can lose a lot of time. That's also what we see when we compare the runners from the first split to the second split. It's really this long leg that puts the field into two groups.
So Contenders was in 4th place at the previous control. You can see there dropped down into 12th. Let's see how he deals with this map exchange. Yeah, much more solid there, but there is still a route choice. A valid route there from the Frenchman. Isaac von Krusenfuerner next to start, former world champion in the sprint. That was back in 2021, those first post-COVID games held in Czechia. We had all disciplines there and burst onto the scene and not quite been able to replicate that since.
But had a good start into the season with the 2nd position at the Swedish League, Swedish test race a couple of weeks ago. Here you can see it's hard to say where they're actually going. I would guess though that they didn't go for the shortest option.
No, they've gone south of the line, gone, round 3 sides of the square where the barrier is in the way, which was not the shortest route.
The shortest option was just a bit north of the red line.
And I also love that there's this route choice as well from 17 to 18. There's about 3 different options you can do, 4 different options even that you can do to go drop down the hill into the finish. And we haven't quite decided on which one we think is the best one yet, but we'll see, keep looking as we continue. This is Florian Nattinger. He's going to take the easterly most route choice here. He's got to find a little cut through just after this building. There he goes, no problem there. And the Swiss runner losing a little bit more time there if you compare to the current leader. You've got to watch out here and into the arena, into the last control, between all the cafes here in the square. And Florian Nattinger is going to be outside the top 10.
I mean, on this route choice to the last control from Florian Nattinger, he was deciding for the one without any stairs. It's quite hard to guess. Sometimes stairs are good to rounding downhill. It's a bit of a risk if you take them, and he tried to avoid it. Went a few more meters, but maybe it's faster. We don't know yet.
You have to play to your own strengths. If you know that you're bad at going downstairs, you're going to avoid them. But stair training is something that people will train. They will look at the map and they'll know there's going to be lots of stairs.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of training, because usually in a very old, like in an older town like this, they are not really standard steps. So it's very hard to get a good rhythm on them.
Axel Grankvist here. We're on our way to TV control number 2, which is control number 12. If you're following on the GPS tracking as well, that's where we have the map exchange. And Axel Grankvist on his way to that control. He was in 5th place at the control before, again losing some time.
He was exiting to the west as well, but then he didn't really go this quickest option so far. So the quickest option is to stay quiet for a long time on the big road. Maybe we can come back to that next time we see it.
Araho from Finland into 4th place there. Just pushing his teammate Ani Rankanen into 5th. Reaching for the line. And 31 seconds slower than our current leader, Benjamin Way from Switzerland, who's still in that leader's chair. And it's not just, the places today that they're kind of competing for. It's the World Cup points as well, but it's also they want to be the top 36 because this sprint serves as qualification for the knockout on Sunday. So there really is all to play for, even with the minor places on today's race, to see if you can make the top 36 to make the cut.
Here again, different options. You can see Anni Ronkainen going to the east and go down through. It's very, very hard to say if he really went this center option or if there's one to the south as well. I would guess that he went up north, that one that was shown as the shortest one.
And we can catch up with him here. This is what it's like then going down the stairs towards the finish. A different route compared to Florian Nattinger. If you're new to sprint orienteering and watching the GPS, it goes a bit haywire between the buildings, so it's really, really hard for us to tell. There's not much we can do about it, we just have to interpret it the best we can. But here's a Frenchman, contenders, on his way into the finish now, and I think as well he's going to be outside the top, there we go, just inside the top 10, going ahead of Rojas from Spain. David Rojas, and there he is, contenders, 15 minutes and 1 second. Congratulating Benjamin Way, current leader at the finish. Can enjoy a nice position there. Okay, let's catch up with Daniel Rudny, and he's also on his way into the finish now. Sorry, Martin Rudny, and this is looking like a very good time here. He did a fantastic job, I think, on the long leg, has really pulled up a lot of places. It's going to be great to see if we can find out where he went, because this is going to be second place for Martin Rudny of Czechia. Crosses the line, 7 seconds down on the lead, and Martin Rudny from Czechia goes into second place.
Yeah, he actually went to the north and took this climb just after control 11.
Yeah, he pulled up a lot of places on that one. He wasn't even in the top 10, I think, going at control number 11, but then pushed up a long way to get into, by the time TV2, by the time control 12 came around. This is Zoltán Budozo from Hungary, and the chance to look at, this is kind of this old village on the slope of the hill, and he's very soon at this first TV control, and this is a very good start here for the Hungarian. He goes into the lead by 6 seconds. Let's have some comparisons there. This is Erik Langadal Breivik, the comparison being made with him, the European bronze medalist in the sprint, and very different routes being picked around here, especially 4 to 5. Where I think Erik Langadal Breivik is taking these longer and slower routes to that one.
Yeah, actually, distance-wise, it's quite similar. It's a bit longer, but you don't do the U-turn with the steps. So I think it was distance-wise was longer, but the guess that time-wise it would be quite similar.
Yeah. So this is Breivik. We're behind the European bronze medalist in the sprint. I think he's got better strength for me in the forest disciplines. Has a fantastic season last year in the forest, but now kind of making that transition into the sprint, trying to build on that success at the European Champs in Belgium. A very different type of terrain though here, and we will follow Breivik all the way then through to the next control, to the 8th control, where we will get his time. That was the 7th, he just punched there behind that little bit of garden. And now climbing up the slope here to the next control. We'll soon pick him up at the camera. You can see Zoltán Budozo still our current leader at that point. Where will Breivik fit? 6th place then, equal with Rito Edgar. 12 seconds down, but really it's what does he do on that long leg? It's going to make a big difference. Again, lots of different route choices here. Oh, we had a mispunch from Martin Rudny, so we saw him going to second and he's been disqualified. So that's why Malloy is there shown in second place. But Håvard Sandstad Eidsmo, also from Norway, into the finish here. A few people have been disqualified for crossing some out-of-bounds area, and some Reichenbach disqualified for that one. Not following the mandatory route to the start after the map exchange. Oh no, Anton Markovac did not start, and I think it was Martin Rooney was mispunched, was disqualified for not following the correct route. This is Isaac von Krusenfuerner here, and I think he's caught up Jonas Hubacek by 90 seconds already, so that'll be a good feedback here for the Swedish runner. And it's going to be close here at this second TV control. He's going to be 7 seconds there behind our current leader. And so he will do the map exchange, dropping his map first, picking up the men's map, and then you're straight into the map reading again because it's the next control is really, really close.
And von Krusenfuerner actually was very quick between control 11 and 12. One of the quickest ones. You can see it here. That's what I was talking about before. If you stay a bit longer just beside this big road here, yeah, the athletes doing this proved to be a bit quicker compared to the others going further south. Interesting as well.
It's not any of the route choices that have been put up.
There's so
there.
many in between.
Yeah.
Interesting as well. I tried to figure out how quick Martin Rooney would have been going to the north. It was a bit difficult because his GPS didn't go all the way to control 11. But I would say it was a bit quicker actually, a few seconds, but hard to say.
So this is Zoltán Budozo. He was leading at TV1. Is he still going to be leading here?
He's leading by 6 seconds. So lost a bit here.
A reminder, Benjamin Way has got a 23-second lead at the finish at the moment. Just making sure he gets the map reading correct here on this next control. We've got to go round, that hedge. Let's have a look then at the start.
It looks good so far. You can see different options here, Ferenc Jonas and Zoltán Budozo.
But Zoltán Budozo pretty much getting everything right, I think, there.
That's a good run so far by Budozo. Wait. You can see that one coming.
This is Ferenc Jonas here. This is on his way to control number 8.
Yeah, you can see.
Oh, this is 7 first of all, and the control's just down there behind the roses.
Yeah, and you can see how well prepared he was, that he could get down there and then the other way up again.
Yeah, you've got to have the right balance of getting the route choices right and then really nailing what's in the circle.
Sometimes it's a kind of a trade-off how exactly you want to be there. It would be enough to know it's coming to the left, and then you would maybe go in and out the same way. You have to slow down a little bit to read the map and everything. So sometimes if you want to be a bit more ahead in map reading, you would skip that moment and do all the detailed working.
Oh, yeah, there was the hedge. But yeah, he'd invested that time in reading the map, and it meant that his entry and exit into the control was perfect. No hesitation
and actually this
whatsoever.
leg 67 was one of the legs we talked about before, that you have a bit of time reading the map, so you could see how well he used the time. He didn't even see the bushes coming in front of him.
So eye on Isaac von Krusenfuerner, who's coming to the finish very, very soon.
I think he went all the way north there, not in between the buildings.
Yeah.
A bit easier to execute.
And Guillaume Verove was in second place, we saw him on the tracking there. And this is coming into control number 17.
You can see that he was 7 seconds behind at the second TV control. He's going out again. Xing this. I don't think this is the quickest option. You have to go down on steps if you do this.
Let's see how he takes those stairs. Kind of turns sideways slightly as he takes down those stairs. And what will it be though at the finish? It's gonna take a bit of an S
Could
shape
have
into there.
continued there before.
Yeah, he could. And let's see what it's going to be.
I don't think that was the best execution, actually.
No, I don't either,
it
but I
will be
do
good
think it's
enough,
going to be
right?
enough for a lead. So Isak von Krusenferner from Sweden, powering to the line. It is a new leading time by 6 seconds there for the Swede. But I can tell you what, he lost 6 seconds on that route down from 17.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah, I think
mistake there.
He did 2 mistakes. First, he has to climb upstairs and then up and down, which slows you down. And then he missed one of the entrances to the control, basically.
Yeah, you could have gone a shorter route, closer to the red line, exactly. So you really have to be map reading all the way to the end. Here's Fabian Abersold then, the best of the Swiss, I'd say, on the start line today, judging by pre-season form. Fabian Abersold, the very tall figure, about to get going on his race. What will he do on home soil? And immediately folding up that race. Of course, the World Cup every year in Switzerland at the moment. The last World Cup final was at the very end of last season in Uster in Switzerland, and we return to Switzerland to start this World Cup 2026. This is Zoltán Budoso, and this is the same route as Isak von Krusenferner, but he does the better route here. And will it be enough for Zoltán Budoso to take over the lead at the finish? The Hungarian punches the last control, and I think it will just be enough. So we're a new leader here at the finish. Zoltán Budoso, very strong the whole way around the course.
But you can see, I mean, he's only 3 seconds ahead. We know that Isak von Krusenferner lost 6 seconds, even though I think his exit from control, 17, might not have been the best either. But then he executed the second part better compared to Isak von Krusenferner. This is the beginning here. Adrien Dulin, different routes between 4 and 5. You
can see Zoltán Budoso just ahead.
That's where they flip the map at control 6.
So following the Frenchman Delaine, he does have a top 10 in the World Cup. That was in Uster. But let's be careful here. So Delaine in touching distance, 8 seconds slower than Budoso. So there's lots and lots of volunteers there just helping keep the members of the public out of the way of the fast-moving runners. So Budoso about to take the leader's chair. In the shade, luckily. So we're waiting then for Breivik at the finish. Waiting for Erik Langedal Breivik. Here he comes. Here is the Norwegian European bronze medalist, and is going to be 27 seconds slower, so into 4th place. The Norwegian. Guilevoy Grimmers there crossing the line. And 14 minutes and 37 seconds for the forest specialist, I would still call him. And straight into comparing routes then with the current leader.
The name was like a huge running. yeah, fast control. I tried to make it finish here, but it was hard.
Okay, back to the start for Akseli Ruohola. A bronze medal from the European Champs knockout. He's got to contend with the car here. Ooh, going a different way, and that is not the quickest way. There, so we'll lose time on that first route choice. That's what the course setters expect.
We're talking about like 5-6 seconds.
But that could make a difference.
Yeah.
It's a sprint.
Yeah, of course. Here we have different routes to control 5. Fabian Abersold, you can see that he is behind Zoltán Budoso at this place. very interesting then. What is he going to do after control 11? This passage here, you really feel like running in someone's garden. That's a thing they often do. If you have an old map, you have a city, an old town with an old map, try to open like backyards and private passages in order to not let the runners prepare for everything.
Yes, we've got a passage in the school opened up, and there's a few extra things. Not loads though. I think it's a warren of small tracks anyway. It's hard enough as it is, and you put those barriers in place, and it makes it interesting.
You have a few places. You mentioned it. There's a school they opened up today. Then there's this backyard we've just seen. There's a passage just by a parking lot where they removed the gate just for this competition. So there are 2 or 3 positions or places where they actually been working actively to change the map.
I'm getting so distracted by these Swiss fans being really. I'm not really sure that works. I'm not really sure that's helpful for Fabian Abersold. Let's recap the current standings at the finish. Zoltán Bizoso from Hungary is our current leader, 3 seconds behind former world champion Isaac von Krusenfeiner from Sweden. Benjamin Way from Switzerland was in the leader's chair for a long time. Quite a few French athletes at the moment in the top 10. And a big mix of athletes, but our top ranked athletes still to come. And we head back to the start to a legend of our sport, Daniel Hubmann. 9 world champs gold medals, 3 of them in the sprint. In his mid-40s now, and it's such a technical race. You know, Daniel Hubmann, by his own admission, is not amongst the fastest guys at the moment, but on such a technical race, he's got that experience, he's got the technical skill, and he can go fast enough to still execute this race really, really well. It's all about those long route choice legs, and it's all about not overshooting any of the little alleyways, especially in that first and second and the last section. So, will it be a race that will suit Daniel Hubmann today? It may well be. We will wait and see. To another Hungarian now, and we're towards the finish here. This is the 17th control.
Also he goes out again, same way as he comes in. I mean, the advantage is that you have been there, you know where to go. But those steps, it's really... Oh, there's the cat.
I think he's doing those steps quite well, to be honest.
Really quick.
He's the best one I think I've seen so far on those steps. And he's absolutely racing down here towards the finish. Going from the left, punching that last control, but outside the top 10, this Hungarian, Ferenc Jonas, crossing the line into 15th. Yeah, a really impressive descent there. And exactly, you know, he may well have seen the passageways going down on his way into the 17th control, so he knows exactly what it looks like. There's no surprise there. You can kind of run a bit more on autopilot. You can take that line a bit faster. But
still, I'm a bit surprised that so many picked this, because it's both that you have to stop, you have to back out again. So you have like a second where you're on 0 speed, you back out, and you have twice stairs you have to take, which is quite a risk. So
but it's the shortest though.
Yeah.
Let's check these different route choices. Into the 12th control, and this is Alvaro Casado. We can catch up with here. Made the final of the World Championships knockout sprint a couple of years ago in Edinburgh. So good sprint from the Spaniard, but he's actually not the fastest Spaniard at this point. Into 13th, but 30 seconds down. This is the point where they will do a map exchange. The whole point of this is so that they can't plan all the rest of the legs on the long leg that was preceding this one. And it is a tricky couple of controls here. There is route choice. There's a lot of impassable features in the way that you have to just double check that you can get around.
Focus on Fabian Abersold on this one. I think he does a small mistake here, not really knowing where the passage is, so heading a bit to the left and then going back. Just talking about a few seconds, then good executed through the garden there.
Yeah, we can catch him up on the drone shot here as well. But it's also, I guess, a little bit about when you're looking at a leg like this, seeing where you can cut through. It's a big grid, but there are some places where you can cut a corner, as you could see on the GPS tracking there. How much will they be thinking about that when trying to plan the route choice?
Yeah, we'll definitely try to spot them. And I mean, we see in the results, they're basically almost everyone is going out to the west, but then we have still big differences time-wise, so definitely there is a difference, and you try to optimize and cut corners. You see that many options have these 90 degrees angles, and of course you want to get those 90 degrees down to a bit less.
Just nearly hitting the wall there, Fabian Abersold, as he crosses there. And this is tricky because you've got to absolutely go so fast on this leg, but you've still got to have a brain left to be able to do this. And he's one of the first that stops there.
And he lost about 11 seconds, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, 11 seconds on the long leg.
And there you go, he's lost a few more seconds there, going back and forwards again. He's the first one we've seen actually to make kind of a mistake like that. I'm sure there's lots who've been doing the same thing. So he reaches the end of the chute, thinks he can go the other way, changing his mind again. It's so easy to get disorientated there, but you actually can't get out that part at all.
He could have gone out basically back to 12.
The way he came, yeah. And then round the bottom. That's a valid route choice.
Here we have the comparison. Guidoso and Dullen. You can see that Guidoso didn't take the very best one between 16 and 17, but it was quite a good one anyway.
Okay, this is the start of the European champion, Matthias Baravaye, on his way out to the first control, who will keep a close eye on the Frenchman. He'll go to his teammate now. This is Adrien Delaine on his way down towards the finish. Not quite as good as French Jonas on those steps, but not bad at all, and being cheered there into this small passageway to go into the arena. Tricky running through here, and Delaine is not going to be the fastest Frenchman here at the finish. Aiming for a top 10 still. Goes 8th, 37 seconds down.
I can give you some... Let's see, yeah, we have a recap here. I can give you some interesting information from TV Control 1. Francesco Mariani punched there 10 seconds behind, but he's one of the first ones going out north to this second option. It's going to be interesting to follow him, as we have Emil Svens get the start.
Yeah, the Swede is the world bronze medalist. And then he won the... Okay, let's just catch up on these routes here. We'll be looking for the Spaniard Alvaro Casado next. No, I think that's a GPS issue, or was it a mistake?
It's hard to imagine that he's doing a mistake there at this point.
Well, he was 33 seconds down at 15, so we'll just check what the time is like when he gets to 17.
Definitely more. Mistake again.
Oh, missing the route in there.
And that's the other option. We haven't seen that one so often. Now here, you can either go to the right at the end of the buildings or then to the left. If you go to the left, you avoid the steps. If you go to the right here, you can see follow that building, and then you have a few steps in the very end. Here. And that's where you come from the right if you go back out from control.
But there was definitely a mistake there, as you can see on the way to control number 17, because he drops from 33 seconds down to 64 seconds down. So a big mistake somewhere at the end of the course, and Casado drops one small mistake. He dropped all the way down to 29th. Tino Polsini next to start, the last Swiss to start.
And actually, it's interesting, I talked to the Swiss coach before, Remo Ruch. He said could be something for the Mr. Execution, as he called him, Tino Polsini.
No, we'll keep an eye on Tino
Yes,
Polsini.
Mariani, you can see he started with 10 seconds of a disadvantage on this long leg, went the other way to the north, took that climb just after control 11, 7 seconds quicker compared to Benjamin Wey.
Yeah, so Francesco Mariani in contention there. We'll keep a close eye on him as he does this kind of third and final part of the course. Now on the way down to the finish. Using the kind of handrail there. And Abersold, obviously we saw him make that mistake at TV control number 2. He kind of went back on himself, lost quite a bit of time there. I had a feeling he was almost pushing it too hard. And when you do that, where you really commit to going hard on that long leg, you just don't have a brain left. You don't have enough oxygen going into your brain to make sense of the map when it gets tricky again.
You can kind of feel that he knows that he's in good physical shape and he tries to get out everything. Today, the orienteering bit was suffering a little bit.
Well, this is what I think is so interesting about this course, because you have this whopping long leg. Once you've decided what you're going to do, it's fairly easy to execute. You can really, really push the pace. But if you push the pace too much, and it means you're in oxygen debt, it means you can't make good decisions when it comes to the next few controls, there's no point. But if you hold off too much, it's also too bad, because you're going to be off the pace. It's so tricky. This is Daniel Hubman though, and he's on his way to TV control number 2. You can see at TV1 he was 14 seconds down. And not lost too much time here, I'd say, for him.
He was at control 11, he was 26 seconds behind. So about 3 seconds. He executed that one quite well in the middle section. He went for the western option and then stayed for a long time close to the bigger roads.
Let's see how the legend does this map exchange. Keeps going there, just taking his time and getting it right. Jonathan Gustafsson next to start. He's the 4th last starter. European knockout silver medalist, world knockout bronze medalist. He's definitely a knockout specialist, but I would love to see him do something really, really well on a kind of an individual sprint like this. You can tell he's going to go left, I think, because he's kind of stopped there. You'll see how that works for him. So comparing Timo Oksanen, he'll be the next to reach TV control number 2, control number 12. The Finn, he made the final of the knockouts a couple of years ago in Alton, that World Cup in Switzerland.
Started this leg 13 seconds behind. So it was quite equal, a bit slower.
Just double checks the map and the run through here. Okay, we'll do the map exchange, dropping his map and picking up the next one. Comes to a stop here just to make sure he gets it right, then picking back up the pace. So much about getting speed in sprint orienteering is that acceleration as well. But let's take Tino Polsini to TV control number 1. You were calling him Mr. Execution.
That wasn't my word.
No. The Swiss coach was calling him Mr.
But
Execution.
I can tell you, he started well here to this course. He was 1 second behind at control. 1 second behind at control 5. And that's an interesting start here.
Start of Heikila, your pick. But what's Polsini doing? He's the world silver medalist. He was first in the knockout sprint at the World Cup final and just 1 second down then compared to Bodoso. So great start there from Tino Polsini with 5 runners after him. That's Krivda who's on an earlier control. He started 90 seconds after Polsini. And Mariani, is not quite going to take the new lead here. Where will the Italian finish? Crossing the line then into third, just 4 seconds down. Francesco Mariani from Italy into third place, into a medal position at the moment.
It would have been very interesting to see which way he went after control 17. I think he went out the same way as he entered, but I can't really tell from GPS.
But where it's that long leg, isn't it, that he did very well, that's made a difference, I think,
good.
here.
The interesting thing was that he went to the north. I don't think it matters too much, but it's definitely not a bad option to go to the north.
Here's our second to last starter, king of the long distance, but he is the European silver medalist as well. He's not bad at a sprint either and always brings his A game to a World Cup or a Championships and flies out the start here. No problems at all for Casper Fosse, the second to last starter. Here's Matthias Barrafaye, and here's the Frenchman onto his way to TV control number 2. He is the European champion at the very tricky race in Belgium, but he's still got a couple of left-hand turns to go here.
And he was 7 seconds behind at TV1. He was 15 seconds behind at control 11. Has to run through a cloud of smoke there.
So at this point, Benjamin Way was in the lead. Zoltan Budoso is in the leader's chair.
1 second quicker from 11 to 12. I can also tell you that Tino Polsini went to the northern route out from control 11, and he was 1 second behind.
And here's Daniel Hubman to the finish. We'll get a big reception here from this home Swiss crowd. And Daniel Hubman, an orienteering legend, is going to come into the top 10 here at the finish. Our last starter, though, is ready to begin his race. This is Yannick Michels from Belgium. He would love a World Cup win here.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't indeed? But you know, he is one of the big sprint specialists. Doesn't really race much in the forest, trains pretty much exclusively for the sprints and out on the course here.
And actually on a course like this, if you exclusively train for sprint, I think you have kind of an advantage, because the thing you're training so much is to get along with the speed. When the map is deciding the speed, that's where you want to hire the speed, when you're training a lot of orienteering, sprint orienteering, and that's exactly where you have an advantage. On the other hand, we have Sprint World Championships coming this year. Everyone is training sprint at the moment, so I don't think the gap right now is that big.
No, exactly. Timo Oksanen in here towards the finish. You can see his time ticking up. Looking like, is he just going to edge out Erik Langedal Breivik? He will. Top 5 at the moment for the Finn. Fantastic work for him. Yeah, as you mentioned, so much effort already this season into the sprint training. Lots of nations have had kind of warm weather training. I think I saw the Swedish team in Morocco this winter doing some races around there. This is Tino Polsini then. What can he do here?
I'm not sure if he executed it 100% perfectly. I think he could have done 4 or 5 seconds better. But you can see that he had an 8-second lead at the first TV control. I don't know if that's true. Maybe.
But look at this, he's still got 20 seconds to spare. This is fantastic running here from Tino Polsini.
You can definitely say that the northern route is a good option.
Yeah, he's really done well on this northern route, and that is 11 seconds lead here.
At the same time, we have to say, I don't think Benjamin Way was the quickest on this leg so far, but it's not a bad option to go to the north.
No, but he's 12 seconds ahead of the current leader, Zoltan Budoso from Hungary, who's been sitting in that leader's chair for a long time. Here's Timo Suter. Just not quite committed on that route choice there, but this is the one that is avoiding the steps. Certainly if he goes left here, he will avoid the steps. Really trying to pick up the pace here. He's got to spot a small alleyway on the right-hand side. Here he comes, and down, descending a few steps there. between the cars and into the last control. We'll have to do a U-turn at that last control, and we'll be outside the top 10 here. Timo Suter from Switzerland into 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Our current leader doing 14:10. Here's Thomas Krivda. So remember, Polsini's just gone fastest here, but is Krivda going to go faster still? He may well do so.
He went to the north as well. Executed it a bit better though. So here we have the feedback compared Polsini compared to Krivda. And yeah, he was much
faster.
I mean, he was 4 seconds behind at control 11. Now he's 5 seconds faster, so he's 9 seconds quicker on this leg.
So good route choice and good execution. And now he has to execute this bit.
So I think if you execute this one well, might be a little bit quicker.
I think Zoltan Budoza can see that maybe his time on the leader's chair about to come to an end.
And when we were in the meeting with the course planners, they were talking about, yeah, it can be a good option if you have enough energy at control 11 to take the climbing. But actually, in my opinion, this technical part just before doesn't really allow you to push all you have until control 11. So I don't think the energy level should be the problem here, which leads to this option that you could be quicker on the Northern routes.
So Yannick Michels, obviously his GPS not quite aligned, but quite close actually, I think, possibly here to Zoltan Budozo. So we get the time check at the 8th control. So here is Yannick Michels. He is the last starter here. This is the control before, dropping down the other side of the garden, and the next control is the 8th one when we get that time split. Michels from Belgium, the last starter here today. And you can really tell they can't get the really top high speeds up on this course. And he's not going to be quicker here. Michels, 8 seconds down at the moment.
A lot of map contact, you can see that. Reading the map very, very carefully.
Yeah, and it's such a trade-off, isn't it? You can either take good looks at the map and then keep looking up, stop and go, or try and keep more of a flow and maybe higher map contact. So tricky.
Interesting here, can see Budozo went this not 100 perfect, but Polsini's wasn't the shortest either. It would have been the middle one. But I would say it's definitely advantage Polsini right now.
And here he is. We can follow him to these next few controls. Will it be a new lead at the finish here? He's going to get the entrance to this garden right. And which way is he going to go down the hill? It's going to be super interesting to see. Our camera op is going to get out the right way. And can you get out there?
Yeah.
You can.
Mr. Execution.
He absolutely is, Mr. Execution. And which way is he going to go here? He's going to go to the right. This is very good here.
This. He was actually 18 seconds ahead at the pre-warning. This looks very, very good for Tino Polsini. This one mistake on the long leg in the execution. I hope we will see that.
But this is certainly a new leading time here. It's a very fast time for the Swiss. And will it be a medal? Will it be the win in the end for Polsini? We're going to have to wait and see. 13:44, 4 seconds slower than our expected winning time. He just kind of needs that confirmation from the other runners there that he is in the lead, and that is a fantastic run from Tino Polsini. Getting the execution right, getting the route choice right, not quite executing that route choice quite as well as Jonas thinks he could have done, but making some great choices there. And if you consider we've now had all of our runners as well through the first TV control, it's looking really, really good for Tino Polsini here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only me thinking that. We have seen the comparison between the two runners. He lost a few seconds. I think it was
but let's see Krivda here, because this is also going to be really interesting to see how he matches against Polsini, because
Krivda
he was 4 seconds ahead at control 15.
But here he was so quick in the execution.
Oh, really well executed here as well. But I just feel like Polsini had a bit more attack down this hill. It's almost a bit like knockout sprint skills, you know? You've got to absolutely nail the last part of the course. And I just get the feeling that Krivda isn't doing that. It might be deceptive,
He was
though.
so distinct in everything. It was like he was like going on the rails.
Yeah, he was. He was no hesitations anywhere. Let's have a look, though, because it's
anyway.
super close here. Krivda from Czechia. What's it going to be here? It's super close. Is it going to be the lead? Is it going to be 1 second down? Krivda 1 second down, and Mr. Execution, Tino Polsini there, just descending those last few controls. Look how delighted he is. He's absolutely delighted, just gets delivered the printout of the download here. And Thomas Krivda from Czechia just 1 second behind. The winner of the last World Cup in Uster is in second place at the moment, and so tight between those two athletes. But honestly, I feel like Tino Polsini was racing that like a knockout sprint. He had memorized every single inch of those last few controls and executed them perfectly. Here's Kasper Fosse, and this is too far behind. Yeah, I agree with you here.
And you can see how much time he lost between TV1 and this control here. Must have been a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, it was a mistake from Kasper Fosse somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Just after control 11, he went into a dead end.
Where did he go? Oh yeah, he went...
Thought there was a passage somewhere. I'm sure we're going to see this here.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So this is a dead end.
Oh, he went... Oh, what?
I might not have gone so far. I think he just went into this parking lot there.
Yeah, and a mistake like that, you can't recover from it, can you?
No, that's too much. And Michels not so far off, actually. I would say about 4 or 5 seconds compared to Polsini.
We've had Thomas Hakeler in the mix too as well. He's going to be coming in towards the finish very shortly. But where's Michels? I mean, in third place at the moment. He's on for a medal position. So Kasper Fosse, obviously we've seen him make a mistake. We've still got Thomas Hakeler, as we've just, Jonathan Gustafsson has actually just finished there in third place. We've got Hakeler and Michels out on the course there. And those two can still contend for a medal. So getting still exciting as we get to the final stages of this start list. This is Hakeler on the GPS tracking compared with Polsini, our current leader.
Let's see if they go same route here. I would say that looks quite similar.
We should catch up with Thomas Hakeler. Here he is. Here's the fin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a mistake.
This is
definitely a mistake here.
Would have been quicker to enter this area a bit earlier. I think he missed the passage, and you can see
he's just not prepared as well.
By missing the passage, he didn't get the chance to prepare, and then he's all the way behind, and he doesn't really know where to go.
So let's see if it's going to be. No, I think that's a medal mistake there, because he was in third place at the 17th control, and the time is ticking up here.
Not the best option to this one either.
No, he's going to come down in this middle chutes here, and the time increases. Well, he's got 10 seconds to get in front of Gustafsson. He might just make it. It's going to be super tight for third at the moment, crossing the line. Yeah, he does go third, but there's Michels is running fast, so just missed that. I think it was a mistake even to go for that route choice anyway.
I think he missed the
first one and then nearly missed the second one as well.
I mean, then when he missed the first one, he wasn't prepared for the second one.
But he lost 8 seconds between 17 and the end, but lost a few seconds getting into 17 anyway. So Yannick Michels, Kasper Fosse still out on the course. Fosse, mistake on the long leg. He didn't spot a fence. So it is Michels who can still make a impact on the medals here today.
And that's control 15, Yannick Michels. He was 12 seconds behind Tino Polsini, and I have to feel, I mean, there's still this route here between 16 and 17 where he could go at least shorter than Polsini, but I don't really see anyone executing 17-18 better than or quicker than Polsini. That was so impressive.
Yeah, all smiles still from Tino Polsini. We're going to catch up with Casper Fosse here. It was the mistake on the long leg, not spotting the fence that's really put difficulty to his run here, but he's got to stay in the race. He's still got to fight for coming in that top 36, for getting some World Cup points as well. He's going to still knows that he still has to push and push and push, even though that mistake will be weighing on his mind. He can't quit here. He's still got to qualify for the knockout sprint on Sunday. The top 36 will qualify.
And you can see, I mean, the race from TV2 to the finish was not bad at all. It's just losing a few seconds.
And so we wait then for our last starter.
And I can tell you he's going for the same route between 16 and 17 as Tino Polsini.
We're just trying to hear the debrief between these two athletes as they chat. I think talking about that mistake made by Casper Fosse there. Of course, Tino Polsini can see what the others are doing. And here is Yannick Michels.
Too late.
It's only a few meters to go now as he comes in towards the finish. It's not going to be first, it's not going to be second, but will it be third? I think it's going to be good enough for the Belgian for another medal in a World Cup sprint for Yannick Michels of Belgium. And crossing the line here, it will be third for Yannick Michels. He crosses the line, super happy with that. Another medal to add to his collection, his growing collection of silver and bronzes in the sprints.
And actually, after the silver medal at the World Championships, it's the first victory in an individual sprint for Tino Polsini, Mr. Execution, as we call him from today. That was very impressive, really. As I said, one small mistake on the long leg costing him about, I would say, 6 seconds. Otherwise, it was very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Hats off to him. A new Swiss star in sprint orienteering, backing up. This is 2 wins in a row because he won the knockout at the very, very end of last season that was in Iste. He won that crazy, crazy knockout sprint that we had going inside. And that now a win in the first race of this Orienteering World Cup 2026, winning this individual sprint. He's already a silver medalist at the World Championships in this sprint. He's the new Swiss sprint star. If you're thinking about where's the next star going to come from with the retirement of Matthias Kibertz, Tino Polsini is it. A 1 second win ahead of Thomas Krüfter, who we've barely talked about in this broadcast, but had a fantastic run as well. He won in Uster, the individual sprint, and now a second here. Got to give him loads of confidence, bags of confidence heading into World Championships. Benjamin Way in 8th place in the end. We saw him on the leader's chair for so long. Zoltan Budozo, I mean, fantastic work for the Hungarian there, getting in the top 6. Casper Fosse out there in the end, and it was his best result there from Budozo.
In an individual sprint.
His individual sprint. Now we have to check here. We're looking now for the top 36 because the results from today's race were also the qualification then for the knockout sprint that will be on Sunday. So look at some names there. Romain Pichard from France, I think that must be his World Cup debut, into 25th. Fabien Abersol just making it in there into 28th. We will keep going down the list because the next page will be key to see who is in and who has missed out then of the results. Oh, we don't see it. In fact, I can go and look at the results on my computer here and tell you who is in 36th. Otto Kario from Finland has made it in. Lucas Liland from Norway in 37th. He just misses out. August Mullane has missed out. That's big news because he's a knockout sprint specialist, but go and look at focus on this race for now.
So you can see that the route choice to the first control didn't matter too much. It was all about quick decision. Different routes than here in this old town. Even here, I mean, you can see there are different options, but the runners are not separated that much time-wise, and I think that's a good option. I mean, here you want to keep them occupied. It's hard for them to read ahead. It's very, very intense. You can see that Polsini already here has a good position. Takes a different route than to 8. To 9 as it seems. And look at this here now, very interesting then. Polsini here at this point is going through the school, and here the different route choices, and 2 of the runners in the top 3 going north. And I can tell you, yeah, here we're gonna see it. So Polsini goes down here at this place, and Krivda a bit later, so he can cut over this small square. And I think this makes a difference of about, maybe 5-6 seconds.
But it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was 1 second between them. It could have mattered, actually. Different routes here as well, to 14. Good one by Krivda. Then better by Polsini. This, again, they're splitting up. I think advantage Polsini here as well, probably. Yeah. And then here, execution so well. Actually, by both Krivda and Polsini.
Tino Polsini, winner of the first stage of the World Cup 2026. What the start of the season.
Yeah, best possible start. I couldn't have imagined any better. Really great.
Hot weather, hot race. 1 second ahead, Thomas Krivda. What's your feeling with this map of Locarno-Ascona?
Yeah, it was tricky. It was really nice. But I think it was very difficult to feel how it was going. I was just running my race, and it didn't feel great, actually. But you cannot know until the very end.
And what is your goal for tomorrow and for Sunday, maybe? The knockout sprint, you're a very specialist, and the sprint relay, too.
Yeah, just try to do it again like this. I feel good, and the spectators are great, terrain is great, weather is great.
What do you want to say to the spectators in the arena? What do you have to expect?
Yeah, thank you very much for cheering. It's a great atmosphere, really cool, always in Switzerland.
Thank you again to the winner, Tino Polsini, Switzerland, of the sprint distance.
I think the most interesting thing to kind of come out of that, the thought that he didn't really, you couldn't really get a sense of how it was going. And I think you really get that with, that first section where you can't reach that high speed because you have to let the map reading dictate the speed. And then, of course, you have that long leg, and you have to pick your route and you have to back it. You have no idea whether it's the best route or not. You can't waste energy thinking about whether it's the best route or not. You just have to believe in it and keep going. So it's so hard to know
I think
in all the different aspects how you're doing.
Especially
in that race.
the long leg makes it hard to guess, because you can have you could have a difference of 20 seconds without really feeling it. I think in the first part he knows that he executed it, that he did well and didn't lose 10 seconds and more. But I think that the middle section really makes it hard to get a feeling of how is it good. You don't see anyone. I mean you don't catch runners in a sprint either, so you don't get a feedback on that.
And then the fact that you've got a map flip and a map exchange, it's hard to kind of pace a race as well when you don't know what's coming next. But quality runs, and for Mr. Execution here, Tino Polsini, just pretty much every route bang on. And what was so impressive was those last few controls for me. He'd pretty much memorized every single moment of it, and that for me was incredibly impressive.
Actually, you talked about the top 36. We have quite many that mispunched as well. Viktor Svensk, for example, Jonathan Gustafsson, Martin Rudny, Anselm Reichenbach, who had quite good pre-season runs. So there are a few names not going to show up in the knockout sprint.
But we will celebrate then our top 3 in this flower ceremony. A 7th World Cup medal for him. No, it's not. I got that totally wrong. A 10th World Cup medal for Yannick Michels. And his 5th bronze. All of them coming in the sprints. Thomas Krivda, second by just 1 second, was the winner in the World Cup final sprint. And now a silver there too. So close. But a great achievement. We could see his roots, they looked fantastic. But taking back-to-back wins, I will call it back-to-back wins on the World Cup, winning the last race of 2025 and now winning the first race of 2026. Keep an eye on Tino Polsini for the rest of the season because he has clearly had a good winter.
At least for the rest of the sprint season.
The win there for Tino Polsini of Switzerland on home soil here. Fantastic work on the technical course. Lots of different challenges on the course today. And a win of just 1 second in the end. There are your top 3 from the first race of the season. I'd expect these crowds to build up a lot more over the next few days as we head into the weekend. Getting a congratulations there from his support crew. And whilst we've had the men's race, the women's race has been ongoing. So we can fix our attention to what the women have been doing, a very similar course for them, and see who we can crown as our first World Cup winners. And for some of these women, they've been spending even longer in quarantine. You can see Pia Young-Vik there, the European champion, alongside Andrina Benny-Minson. All sorts of different things. That looks like
not
Yahtzee,
the numbers you want to get.
No, because they can't have their phones in here. So you've got to come up with ways to entertain yourself, ways to distract yourself. You might have a little nap, you might read a book, you might play some games, because these women have not been allowed to know what is going on for the rest of the athletes. They really just have to then make their own preparations, staying calm here, trying not to get intimidated sometimes by some of the other runners as well. A lot of the athletes will have kind of developed over the years of running in the junior scene, and they're now in the seniors, just what their quarantine routine is. And then, of course, when it comes to their time, they get marched out towards the start. So the women's course, 3.8 kilometres, 45 metres of climb, an estimated winning time of 14 minutes, a little bit longer than the men's. And they didn't get told how far the courses were ahead of today's race, but this is what awaits them. This will be the map.
And actually, the guess in the men's race was just 4 seconds off, so I'm gonna give you that the guess for this one was 14:30 and not 14. So let's see how this develops. The course itself very similar when it comes to the idea as the men's race. You can see it a bit shorter in the village here. Map flip as well, and then TV1 at control 7. Same TV control as we had in the men's race just a few minutes ago. And again, you have this intense start, you have many decisions to take. It doesn't give you the chance to get much of control over the map. 8-9, a bit different compared to the men's race. That makes it different, of course, as well. 9-10. So this control 9 is a bit further to the north, which makes it even more likely that the northern route is a bit better. This is then TV2, the map change. And then we have this, look at this. I mean, there's so many options between 10 and 11, or so many, but you have to keep track on so many things. Is it possible to get in and out the passage you want? Then you have to compare the two of them. At the same time, you want to be running and there's so many decisions to take just after the map change. And then 14, 15, not exactly the same route as in the men's race. I think that was the place where we've seen one of the men hesitating before maybe getting to this control. But the concept again quite similar with the route choice. So this is the course, and as proven in the men's race, the most decisive part probably. I mean, not really if you win it or not, but if you're in the group of possible winners of this race here, 9 to 10. And as I said before, the control about, let's say, 20-30 meters further to the north makes it more likely that this red option is even quicker in the women's race. You can see it here, it was 944 meters in the men's race, and 3 meters less climbing as well. And those different options here, I mean, we see like 4 different options here, or 2 different options to the south, but there are many more you can take in between.
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes this leg really, really interesting, and just the number of variations. And as we were talking about, it's finding the route out of the control, but then also finding the route into the control, number 10. A lot of people having to approach the control from the far side, from the south.
Yeah, it's a bit strange to plan like this. How do I get out? How do I get to the control and then fill in between? It's kind of solving a maze. Different options here. We didn't see so many. I think many of the runners see it as a bit of a risk to take this passage there, because the risk that, like, possibility of not seeing it is real. And if you go to the north, which is not that much of a difference, you can avoid that problem.
You might have seen there on this map that there's grey circles in places. This is a new symbol to denote where there's a car park, so there might be parked cars in the way that could block runners' routes. So just giving the runners a little bit of extra information to help them determine which is the quickest way. So obviously weaving in and out of cars is not fast.
And one other option not here is to go even a bit further to the west of the purple one. We have seen that executed by quite many of them. Then you don't have to go any of the passages in between the buildings.
So as usual, the start list is determined by the world rankings, with the ones going last. Early starters to look out for, Caroline Olsen, I guess.
Yeah, back again from, well, let's call it maternity leave.
Yeah. She had a baby in May last year, so yeah. 11 months on.
Good results early on this season. Then, let's say Malin Agervik, Kristiansson, Ida Agervik, Kristiansson, very interesting names here as well. Alva Sunesson.
Grace Malloy, who was second in the knockout.
And then here towards the end we get to the favorite, Pia Youngvik, European champion as you mentioned before, and towards the very end Hanna Lundberg, Simona Abersold. I see Simona Abersold as a big favorite. You have prepared some stats about her appearances in Switzerland,
we were looking
right?
at her record running World Cups in Switzerland, actually any World Cup, European Championships, World Championships in Switzerland. She's had 15 individual races. 11 times of those 15 she's taken a medal, and 5 of those were gold. So 1 in 3 races in Switzerland has been a gold. Her worst ever result, 13th in the middle distance in Flims Larks. That was the World Championships where she made a mistake there, but and quite big mistakes there in that middle distance, but very good record.
And of course we have to mention, if you see the start list here, that we have a few runners not on the start list as well. Tove Alexandersson not putting any effort into sprint orienteering this season, so she's not here. Sarah Hagström is about to
have a baby. Yeah, she's due in April sometime. Mistake here from Ilvi Kastner. Just not quite executing this one. This is the previous control. We'll get the time check at the next one. And actually, I mean, we forgot to mention in the men's race how many people weren't there. Martin Wegborn, the world champion, he's got a big injury that he's going to have surgery for. Ricardo Rankamp was out with injury. Joey Hadorn, he's injured. We actually saw him pre-running it earlier. Gustav Bergman is out with illness. Max Petter Beimer wasn't there. So lots of big names especially in the men's with injuries.
Now, maybe not the best sprinters, but still, see, if you look at the overall World Cup, that would be names fighting for good positions.
Absolutely. So Silla Gardoni is the current leader, 16 minutes 26, a former junior world medalist in the sprint. But Sanne Fast, this is so interesting to see what Sanne Fast is going to do.
Yeah, she hasn't been running so many. She has never been running an individual sprint.
No, she has
in the World
one.
Cup.
She ran the European Champs knockout sprints at this level. All the other representations at this level, so World Cup or above, have all been in the forest, where of course she's done incredibly well, especially in the middle distance.
And she did win the Swedish test race, Swedish League first competition a couple of weeks ago.
So she there is second, and ahead of Silla Gardoni, who's our current leader. Vera Klemettinen's gone faster though. So they do have the map exchange exactly the same as the men. I've just not quite got it exactly right here. She'll see the runner ahead of her going the other way. Just going to check. This is the mistakes here. It's so hard when you get that new map. There's a load of different ways that you can't go. There's a lot of passageways where you have to do like 180 and turn around. Very, very tricky. This is Deborah Stadler here, and just punching the control, goes into 7th there. She's going to go back out the same way. The end of this course is the same as for the men. She can't go that way. So hadn't quite prepared this section here. Super, super tricky. You've got to keep really good map contact. It's so hard to kind of simplify and then hold that in your brain. And she will go down the route of the steps. There's a few different ways you can go from that last control towards the finish. And you can see already slower than Gardoni. It's Kristin Melby Jakobsen into 2nd place. Anna Grell in 3rd at the moment. And Deborah Stadler coming in here for 7th place. But we need to watch out for Vera Klemettinen. Here is Vera Klemettinen, the next athlete to come down the hill into the finish, and it could be good enough for a new leading time here at the finish from Vera Klemettinen. This is the last control, and it will be a clear new lead here for the Finn.
And Klemettinen actually took this northern route out of Control 9, so it proves to be good also in the women's race.
Yeah, it does indeed. And it goes 16:02. We've still got a lot of time expected to be coming off that time from our fastest runners. And we can go to Hedvig Valbjørn Goodison, who is now on her way to TV Control 2. This is the map exchange. So she's just done that long leg. And is she going to take the new lead here? She is indeed. Fantastic work here from the Dane to go into the lead. And she actually picked up from 3rd to 1st here. But we've got some fast, actually, she overtook Vera Klemettinen, but we've got some fast Swedes coming up very soon. Making sure she's just checking her control description there. You can see her looking down onto her left arm, so she's checking where exactly the control is placed because she wanted to know which side of a fence it was going to be. Alina Gempela next to start for Switzerland. A fast start here. We'll go from one Swiss to another. This is Gross here.
And quite a good start for Paula Gross.
So Vera Klemettinen takes the leader's chair. And we can have our next starter, Vilma von Krusenfuerna from Sweden. Just checking something out there with the start official. She's looking ahead at the start clock.
Bit of activation there.
really aggressive in her running style. Speeds out of the start. And takes not sure exactly which way she's going to take that route choice. Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual starting style. Reminds me of Karsten Warholm in the start of another athletics track. Here's Sanna Fast. This is coming out to the finish, not quite prepared.
And quite many times now we've seen her not really prepared for the task coming. But still, I mean, 25 seconds to go. It's not that far off.
No, will it be enough for a new lead here? Again,
so.
Not quite as well prepared here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I think it might be enough still. There's only a few meters still to go. So Sanna Fast punching the last control, and will she go faster than Klimetinen? By just 2 seconds, yes she does, but she lost about 10 seconds on that route from the second to the last control compared to Vera Klimetinen. So this course just does not let you relax at any point. You have to be executing every single second.
I can see there is a mistake. She was running into a dead end. And also Frida Wikström did a mistake. It's not good execution here, and it's not the only thing we've seen from Sanna Fast. Just after control 10, she struggled a bit to control 11, then at the very end as well. So I think there's speed in her legs, but it's not really, the technique's not really there yet.
Yeah, it's such a... Ooh, she's got to be careful about crossing the road, possibly.
Is she allowed to cross there?
Oh no, she's on the last bit to the control, which is, she is allowed to cross that road, but she doesn't want to, because then she would be really making a big mistake. Yeah. She used to stay on that side, I think just overshooting. And it's such a trade-off in all orienteering. There's another mistake there as well. It's such a trade-off between running fast enough to be competitive and running too fast and making a mistake.
And that's such a classic mistake. I mean, you don't see really the entrance, but you have to look at the building behind in order to know where the distance to your entrance. Not only to focus on going left, but read the thing within the forbidden area, within the olive.
But Frida Wikström was, only 8 seconds down at TV1, really good in second place at TV2, and now dropping here. Just looking like she needs to regain some control somehow here. Much, much easier said than done. Hannah Hilo has just come into the finish here. She's gone into third place, the Finn. 18 seconds down, and yeah, fantastic work over the last few controls. So mistakes happening at lots of different points in the race here for these women. Let's take a look at Hedvig Valmon Gudesen, who was in the lead at TV2. So clearly some difficulties there for her because she was ahead of Sanna Fast.
It's very hard to get any information out of this.
So Gudesen from Denmark on her way to the last control here. These are the only steps she'll have to take here, but there's another hairpin bend. She's got to make sure she gets the gap. And now, of course, lots of people have spotted a good place to cheer them on. So it's not going to be enough for a new leading time here for the Dane. Will she go faster than Hannah Hilo? Looks good for a third place finish at the moment. Hedvig Valmon Gudesen into third for Denmark, 16-14.
Yeah, it was too early
there we
here.
Go. Yeah.
That was the mistake. It's the next one. That's the one when they exit again. They come up there, and then they go out there to the last control. Here we have Paula Gross. I think she lost a bit on this long leg. She actually, I think she exited control 9 a bit to the south, and then changed her mind, went up again, and then didn't execute it perfectly either. Lost about 20 seconds.
Yeah, this course proving super, super tricky in terms of the execution. And I wonder if some of it is about the expectations for a course like this. You know, we've had a little bit more straightforward sprints in Switzerland recently, and this one's a bit more technical, and you kind of people like running it too fast or underestimating how difficult it is. But they've all had the maps. They will have known that there's kind of hillier sections that will be tricky. Anyway, let's catch up with the current standings then at the finish. Sanna Fast, 16 minutes exactly. She is our current leader. Not sat on the leader's chair yet, just probably getting a little bit of a drink, getting a download. 2 seconds ahead of Vera Klemetinen. Let's have a look here. We've seen that mistake so many times.
It's very. I mean, if you look at the passage here, if you just take a very quick look, you could think that this path is going all the way through, but there's the black line in between.
Yeah, and it probably is. They just closed the gate that can be open that's been closed. Yeah, and the damage that does to Maria Prieto's race, considerable. There is Sanna Fast debriefing on her race. And Sanna Fast starting so early on in the race because she just doesn't have those many sprint world ranking points. This is only her second international sprint, sprint type race, her first individual sprints. And this is Maria Prieto. Remember, we saw her on the GPS just there make not one but two mistakes at the start of the long leg.
Now. She's not allowed to cross there, is she? She's definitely not allowed to cross there.
Yeah, she's definitely not allowed to cross there.
So that'll
be a disqualification, absolutely. And we already saw quite a few men being disqualified on the men's race, on the first race, and that'll be a disqualification. Anybody who approaches that control from, oh no, not quite actually. That was a bit extreme.
You could go all the way
12
to 12
and then come
but
back
then you
in.
lose time.
You do. So she won't know it yet, but that will be a disqualification for Maria Prieto.
I don't know. Sometimes you see it afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very clear.
It is
on
very
the map.
clear. Okay, so Laura Robertson, the next one who we will see here. It's hard. So I think for the faster runners, they've matched the GPS up and kind of put it in retrospectively. It's difficult to see which way Laura Robertson's going, but she's having a fantastic run, the Kiwi, based in the UK, and she was 5th at Control 13.
Too early.
Yeah, that's a mistake here for Laura. That's the second of the two alleyways, so that was the first. This is the second one. You've got to go down the stairs, and then it's still, because it's so narrow and dark in there. I had to take a good couple of extra looks at my map there to figure out exactly which way you were going. This is a good route out here, though.
And again, you can see how it disturbs your kind of flow you have once you did a mistake. Everything you build up in like reading ahead, just falling apart, and you have to build up this kind of buffer again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like working with very bad Wi-Fi, and you're looking over a movie, and then it stops, and you have to rebuffer and everything.
So Laura Robertson, lost a few seconds here, but still looking to come into the top 10 here at the finish. Sanna Fast is still our current leader. And Laura Robertson goes into 10th there, 43 seconds down on the lead. Dropped from 5th to 10th with those mistakes into control number 15 there. Here's Paula Gross. What will she do? Much better flow here. Of course, we didn't see her from quite as early as we saw Laura Robertson. And Paula Gross on her way into the finish.
I mean, Sanna Fast had some struggles in the end as well, but I don't think this is enough anyway.
So Paula Gross found 12 fans here at the finish to welcome her in. It's not going to be enough for first or second, but this looks good enough for third at the moment. just giving it everything on the cobbles here in this main square for third place at the finish. The best of the Swiss so far. And 6 seconds, just 6 seconds down. Here's Malin Egever Christiansen, the next to start. 5th place at the World Championships. That was 2 years ago in Edinburgh. Her best performance of her career so far. Her sister Ida going off about 10 minutes time. Ooh, just stopping here at this control. This is, I think, the 5th control. So
I mean, it's not a big time loss. It's more like an indication of how well she's able to work with the task she gets.
Yeah, because she didn't quite get that one as quickly. These controls come so fast, though. Yeah. You have to have such high map contact, and it really slows the speed down. But now she's on her way to the 7th control. And this is where we'll get the time split. Rita Mara Morosi, she's actually only just a first-year senior, but she's been, feels like she's been racing in the seniors for quite a few years already. Some great junior results, but 16 seconds down at the moment. Just 16 seconds down, but she's 23rd. Isn't that crazy? And Isabel Toledo next to start from Spain. Her and Maria Prieto, the 2 best sprinters in Spain, have been for a good few years, beginning her campaign. Frida Wikström just showing what her mistakes that she made, chatting to Sana Fast.
Talking about misses they did.
Yeah, that will be the one on the long leg.
See it here, comparison, you can see that Caroline Olsson went to the north. Then it's all about that, I think was one of the mistakes they mentioned before.
I think she's going on the red route there. So really, I think that this is the route that
it's
they
very hard
organise
to say where she actually goes down.
It's true.
But anyway, I think she did the same as Dino Polsini there.
But let's catch up with Caroline Olsen. I think we're trying to find her here.
So
here
not
she
the
comes.
very best, but still quite good.
So crossing between the barriers.
Obviously, you can win the race with this route, as we have seen in the men's race. So it doesn't take you out of the competition.
But not quite prepared here. She's really got to see. You've got to kind of go beyond the control to get to it. And Caroline Olsen, super interesting name, had some good results in Sweden already. And
40 seconds behind though at control 9.
Had a baby back in May. Got very quickly back to training again. Very happy to make her return to the national team.
More distinct here, not doing the same mistake as Frida Wikström. It's 14 seconds behind, now it's a bit more.
And so the medalist from the World Champs in the knockouts into 10th place at the moment. On her return to the international scene, picks up her next map. She's got to be super careful here. Completely stops at she definitely.
That's not a good option.
No, not really. She's got to turn right back through here.
It is possible to go there.
It is possible, but it's slow, isn't it?
Well, I think as well if you.
Oh, now she's going back.
I think if you do it very distinct and you go out there and you just execute it without any hesitation, then you lose maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds, but it's not that bad. But usually what you do when you back out, you suddenly notice, okay, it's not going as I planned, and then you start hesitate, and then you add to those 3 or 4 seconds.
You could just see it like it's just gathering more and more seconds as she went on here. Elina Gempela. So the last few meters for Elina Gempela, she's going to be over a minute down on the lead of Sanne Fast at the moment, into 19th, equal there with Semkova. And going back here, this is Malin Christiansen.
On the way to control 7, first TV control. I think it's quite an okay start, yeah. So
but she looks in control as well.
Yeah, she
you
looks in
compare
control.
that to like Rita Marmarosi, who we've previously seen through there. This looks really good.
Yeah, distinct, no hesitations.
Yeah, and she goes into the lead. There's Anna Isabel Toledo in the background. Grace Malloy next to start. The Brits second in the knockout sprint in Uster, the race that rounded off the 2025 season. Got all our focus on the sprint orienteering for this year. Lives in Sweden. Lives in Stockholm. Really looking forward to attacking this course. And I think she'll really enjoy that it's going to be technical and tricky today. At the finish, Vilma von Krusenförner is going to be outside the top 10, as we said. Minutes down, and lots of mistakes creeping into people's runs today. Surprising number of execution errors for me. We're going to compare Alva Sonesson here. This is a good start.
This different route to 5.
I think that one's slightly slower. Alva Sonesson fourth at the European Champs.
It might be slightly slower, but I don't think, I mean, it's not the place where you lose the race.
No. So we'll see Alva very soon in towards the 7th control, 5th, 5, 6, 7. Comes really, really fast. Here she is. Now just watch her through these controls. She's going...
Overshooting that control.
Yep, that's number 5.
Let's see how she's able to kind of get back quickly again.
Yeah, this is the 6th control coming up here.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, really good here. And now again, changing the direction on to the next control. And this is quite a good one to simplify, because you basically go straight there and then you go all the way up to basically the top of the street. And then the control is next, but you can see super, super high map contact from Alva Sonesson. And she'll go around that corner, then we will get her time. So she punches the control and can confirm she has gone through to that control in the lead. 4-second lead ahead of Malin Christiansen. So Alva Sonesson, despite a very, very small miss at the 5th control, actually looking really, really good there. The European 4th place. So that one in Belgium. There's some big route choices on that course. Let's go a long way off the line. I think we're just trying to catch up with our next runner here on the start list, which was Yves van Dongen. So see if we can catch up with the Dutch runner.
Oh, why are we with that camera?
So Yves van Dongen was next on the start list. Of course, you can forget that bronze medal in the knockout sprint in Denmark in the World Champs. You can hear so many runners as well. Here's Eve van Dongen. You can see her very, very distinctive in the orange colours of the Netherlands.
Yeah. I don't think that stay with that camera position was planned. But now we can see how they work.
Absolutely.
They stay there, chasing new athletes to follow. Here's Eve van Dongen.
Yeah, this is a 6th control. And then continuing the same way as Alva Sonnesson. So Eve van Dongen picked up orienteering as an adult, very unusual for runners of this class, and it was moving to Sweden that helped her start the sports. As a really quality runner, good sprinter. Doesn't do as well in the forest, where you need a little bit more experience. We'll just stick with this camera shot here. And this is Grace Malloy, the Brit, the Scot, living in Sweden. Let's just see how she goes here on her way to the 5th control. She's got to get the right alleyway down to the 5th. Here it comes, and on the left here. Balancing the speed and the accuracy. Here it is. Next one is the 6th control. Then we'll get the time check from Grace Malloy.
I'm kind of stuck with this camera, but I can tell you that Malin Augervik Christiansen punched that TV2. And she's 2 seconds behind.
Oh, there's a mistake from Grace here. She's just overshot that control, and she was already quite far down at control 5, a few seconds down, so maybe some early mistakes here from Grace Malloy. We're taking a different route here to the 7th control, which is where we'll get the time check. And I do wonder if we're having some technical difficulties here, so just bear with us at the moment, because it seems at the moment all we've got is this running camera. We'll try and keep you up to date with some of the other runners as they come around the course as well. Grace Malloy went into that TV1 in 34th spot. She was 26 seconds down after a couple of maybe some early mistakes there from Grace. So next, we've just seen Marita Marmarosi into the finish, into 6th place. And it should be Malin Augervik Christiansen, who we see very soon. Here's the next runner. Just bear with us this moment. This is Maja Sienoja. She does have 1 World Cup medal to her name. It was the sprint race back in Prague in 2018. And here she comes, Maja Sienoja. The 6th control here. Very hesitant. Does she know where it is? Yep, it's just hidden. It's quite tricky because you can't see it behind all the roses. Taking her time there on this route.
And then meanwhile we have Malin Augervik Christiansen at the pre-warning. Control 30. She's in the lead there, 13:08. That means she's 6 seconds ahead of Vera Klemetinen and 10 seconds ahead of, compared to the leader in the finish, Sanna Fast.
So Maja Sienoja was, 41st at that first TV control. Malin Augervik Christiansen is on her way down towards the finish right now. This is Mel Beauvais from France, who was 7th at the European Championships in Belgium. Great French results in that whole championships. The whole team clearly very, very well prepared, with good results from Cécile Calandry and from Mathieu Baravaye as well.
And give you a bit of information about Alva Sunesson. She was in 5th position at control 9. No, in third position, 5 seconds behind. Now she punched that TV2, 25 seconds behind. So she lost another 20 seconds there. Now in 11th spot. And I think quite soon we could expect Pia Youngvik entering this area where we have this camera we're following all the time right now.
Maëlle Dever, actually, the previous runner who we saw there, had a good start into 11th place, 13 seconds down. Alva Sonnesson, the fastest at TV1.
Yeah, you can see
our camera operator just cooling down a little bit. In the mid-20s here, and quite a shock for people coming from Northern Europe. So we'll try and pick up our next runner, which is Pia. Oh, we've got Ida Agvik Christiansen coming next, then Pia Youngvik. Rita Maramorosi actually disqualified. Malin Agvik Christiansen on her way down towards the finish very soon, but she's made a mistake. We just had Inka Nurminen into the finish. She's just gone into 4th place. We think there may be a connection issue with our cameras, so just bear with us whilst we're with our running camera at the moment. Round TV control number 1, we'll do our best to feed you with information from the finish as well. Of course, you can check out the GPS tracking online too. So Ida Agvik Christiansen just try and catch up with the Dane.
So now we get Malin Agvik Christiansen to the finish, punching right there into 4th position.
Yeah, and she must have made a mistake around between 13 and 15. I don't know if you've picked anything up on the GPS tracking, Jonas, because she was in the lead at control 13 and then was 15 seconds down at control 15 and lost a little bit of time. That seems to be her main issue.
Yeah, I mean, she exited to, so it's 14, no problem. Then this is the route choice control. It's very hard to say from the GPS.
Here is Pia Youngvik, though. She is the European champion. Took a bronze medal at the last round of the World Cup as well in the sprint race. And she's made a good start. Here she comes out of the 6th control. It's the next one where we'll get the time check. Heading back up the hill. We'll keep her here. Alva Sonnesson was the fastest at TV control number 1. And she's coming through to that first TV split. She goes into the lead there, equal time with Alva Sonnesson. A great start there for Pia Youngvik from Norway, the European champion. And with Alva Sonnesson we know she's lost some time later on in the course. A really good start for Pia Youngvik.
And we're gonna keep an eye on the route choice then, between 9 and 10. She's gonna head to 8, and then I would say she's there in about a minute.
So the next runner to come, Teresa Roturier, the Czech athlete, was 3rd place in the knockout sprint at the end of the World Cup last year. The one that was also held in Switzerland. She's going a slightly different way here. We'll pick her up coming out of the next alleyway, I think. Here she comes. Here's the Czech athlete. And catch her through to the 6th control. Oh, going a few extra meters there. So Teresa Roturier from Czechia has made a really good start and looking aggressive here, looking fast through all of these stages. Managing to find some time where she can just run without looking at the map, keeping the pace high whilst looking at the map too. The next control, she will be careful about getting that one there. And she goes into 3rd place at TV1, 4 seconds down on that joint lead held by Alva Sonnesson and Pia Youngvik.
And next interesting name coming into this area, Cécile Gallondry had a good start at control 2. She was about 2 seconds behind only.
Yeah,
interesting as well, I was talking about Pia Youngvik. She was actually exiting first to the south. from control 9, then changing her mind, going up again. I think that's not a good option. She would have been quicker if she would have fulfilled it.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of got to pick a route choice and commit to it. Because to have that hesitation, to change around and get that extra distance, it is a lot. Andrina Benjaminsen will be our next athlete through, the Norwegian. Here she comes. Andrina Benjaminsen still missing an individual World Cup win. No medals in the World Cup or better at a sprint discipline. She's so good at the forest though. So many silver and bronze medals to her name. But will this be the day that she can finally get a sprint medal? So just bear with us. We think we must have an issue with some of our later cameras. Sticking with this running camera for now. Our running camera operator doing a fantastic job here. You can see the little shuttles they're having to make. So we wait for the next runner, who should be Cécile Calandry. As Jonas said, has made a good start to the race, was the European knockout champion.
We also had an interesting start of Victoria Hestad Björnstad. Quite good results pre-season.
Just to let you know, Alva Sonesson just finished there in 9th place. She was leading at TV Control 1, still is joint leading with Pia Youngvik, but just finished in 9th, 24 seconds down. Our top 3 currently, Sanna Fast is in the lead. 2nd place, Vera Klemetinen, and 3rd place, Paula Gross, just separated by 6 seconds, the 3 of them. Here's our next runner. Here's Cécile Calandry. There's the 5th control, completely stopped there, not quite prepared for the next one. It's such a trade-off. Do you do this stop and go system? Do you do this other system here with just kind of trying to keep the flow going? So behind Cécile Calandry, we've lost our graphics at the moment, so we'll just let you know from our system where she has finished.
Interesting, Ida Agervik Christiansen is quite far behind at control 9. Is able to pick 17 seconds on the route. Well executed, good choice there from the beginning. And next one to get there is Pia Youngvik.
And now we've got 3 athletes with an equal fastest time at TV control number 1. That's control number 7 on the GPS. Alva Sonesson, Pia Youngvik and Cécile Calandry with an equal fastest time. Okay, our next athlete to come through will be Victoria Hestad Björnstad. 2 sprint relay world champs medals. As Grace Malloy just finishes just outside of the top 10 in 11th place. I think lost most of her time at the start. Did Grace Malloy. Good end to her course. Of course, the athletes chasing the top 36 to guarantee them a selection for qualification for Sunday's sprint, knockout sprint. This is Victoria Hestad Björnstad from Norway. New kit from the Norwegians this year. You see the black. They have changed their national kit. And we've just got news. Pia Youngvik into 3rd place at TV control number 2, just 4 seconds down on the fastest time, which at that point was Hedvig Valvin Gudesen. But our leader at the finish is Sanna Fast, and Pia Youngvik is 9 seconds quicker than Sanna Fast. So Victoria Hestad Björnstad went into 19th place at TV control number 1. That's control 7. And here comes Venla Harju from Finland, who's made a really fast start to this race. She's popping down there into 5th. And now we have some other pictures from the course. So the technical gremlins have we've had the team working on that. So back there with the picture, and this is Teresa Roturier into 4th place then at TV2.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Pia Young-Vic into 3rd place. So Pia Young-Vic and Teresa Roturier still doing well there, faster than our current leader at the finish.
For everyone not remembering where we are here, that's TV2.
This is TV2 on the map exchange, exactly.
So interesting as well, we have Cécile Gallandry on the long leg, we have Andrine Benjaminsen on the long leg, different routes there. It's going to be interesting. Here we have Venla Harju.
Yeah, we've got our graphics back as well now. So there was a three-way
good to be
tie.
back.
There was a three-way tie at the lead. Where will Venla Harju go? So into 4th place. He got 4th there, 4 seconds down. A great start then from the Finn.
Talking about the start, we also had Hanna Lundberg on the course now, on the way to the first control.
And we're really at the business end of the starts now. With in fact, our last starter, Simona Abersold, possibly the favourite for today's race. She has won every 1 in 3 races she started at the World Cup, World Champs, European Champs in Switzerland, and has just been improving and improving. She didn't have the best results in Belgium though at the Assom races a couple of weeks ago. Was disqualified from one of those there. Had the tough news of the death of her godfather a couple of days ago, so that might be on her mind as well. But she's such a class athlete and so fast that we'll see what happens.
Here we have the comparison again between Sanna Fast, where we have the mistake. I'm not sure, is she? She might have... There's no passage there, right? She might have gone over the street same way as Sanna Fast and then continued from there. So it looks like a disqualification, but it might not be. Just inaccurate GPS. But stayed up there on this bigger road for a longer time. That was good in the men's race. So Cécile Gallandry in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, here's Calandry, and we really want to compare her time to that of Pia Young-Vic and of Teresa Roturier. This looks very fast for the French athletes. Although she's still got a couple of left-hand turns to go though, so maybe not. Maybe losing some time here. She was in the equal lead at control number 9. Let's have a look. No execution issues here in these last stages, and so she's soon going to punch the control. That's when we get the time check, then she will drop the map and pick up another one.
And interesting, Pia Young-Vic very soon to control 15, or she might be there already, second to last control.
So equal time to Sanna Fast, who's our current leader at the finish. Here's Pia Young-Vic, and what will this be? Will this be another new leading time here at the finish? Here's the European champion coming to the line here, and it is going to be a big lead here compared to Sanna Fast, 25 seconds. And really, I must have executed the last part of the race really well, because we remember Sanna Fast had some troubles around control 15. So Pia Young-Vic, a 25-second lead for the European champion. And yeah, will this be a continuation of Pia Young-Vic's sprint success in a year where we have a sprint world championships? That's in Italy, but what will Teresa Roturier do? She's on her way towards the 15th control now. Yeah, this is one where we've seen some of the runners have difficulties, but this at the moment looks really good.
Yeah, looks good. Still 36 seconds to go. If she executes this well, I don't think she's good enough.
She could continue.
And I don't think the 30 seconds are enough, actually, because she has to climb up here again, take the turn, and then down the steps.
Now she's really got to push hard going down these steps. It's maybe not going to match for the win, but looks good enough for second place at the moment for the Czech. Such a tricky end to this course, that second to last control. The route into it, the route out of it is so crucial when it's just seconds between the runners here. Pia Young-Vic's lead is safe, but Teresa Roturier from Czechia is going to go into the silver medal position. A great run from her, 9 seconds down on the lead. Sanne Fast down into third.
And behind Teresa Roterie, you had Andrine Benjaminsen, 1.5 minutes behind. Quite good, actually. She did a good second half of this course, 9 seconds behind at pre-warning.
But Hanna Lundberg, first time we've seen the Swedish runner on the broadcast, and she's gone into a 10-second lead on the first part of the course. That's really strong. Andrine Benjaminsen is the next athlete we'll see at the finish. Comparing her to her teammate Pia Young-Vik, who is the current leader. Here's Benjaminsen.
I mean, she's not going to beat Pia Young-Vik, that's for sure, but maybe somewhere there between the Roterie.
Let's see how she executes this last control. Just being very careful, but getting a good route. This is really nice. I like this route choice from Andrine Benjaminsen. She's got to keep the speed high, dropping down the slope here. Really good route choice, looking fantastic. She's got to just be careful. Those tourists have done quite a good job of getting out of the way. And only a few more meters now for Andrine Benjaminsen on her way into the finish. She will knock Sanne Fast out of bronze medal position. And Andrine Benjaminsen into third place. Won't be enough for her first sprint medal, I think, on the World Cup circuit, but so consistent, this runner. And a chat to the leader. So here we go, the last starter, Simona Abersold. And this is the TV control. Oh, 17 seconds down. Equal with Benjaminsen.
And I can tell you that Hanna Lundberg is going to the north out from control 9. So if she executes this option well, looks very good for the young Swedish runner.
Yeah, it does. So Hanna Lundberg was leading at TV control number 1, leading at control 9 as well. Let's catch up with Cécile Calandry.
I lost a bit of time the last two, let's say from TV2. You can see time is running out quite soon, only 20 seconds left. Hesitating here as well.
And what's so tricky there is seeing all the little gaps. There's a barrier in the way. There's so much to think about when choosing. You've got to choose your route choice. You've got to execute your route choice. It's really tricky. And you know you're right at the end of the course, and the time is ticking. Oh, not quite.
That's not the best option.
No, that's not quite the best option. She will have run a few extra meters there by taking this kind of zigzag route in here. And Calandry will be slower than Benjaminsen in the end. Neck and neck with Sanne Fast, crosses the line. Where does she go? Equal fourth with Sanne Fast. European knockout champion, still proving why she's one of the contenders in the sprints, but equal fourth there.
And I can tell you, Simona Abersold punched at control 9. She lost another 6 seconds, is now 23 seconds behind, but is going to the north as well. So on both Hanna Lundberg and Simona Abersold on this northern route, we can see here Hanna Lundberg compared to Pia Young-Vik. Different execution, none of them taking the perfect
Hang
one.
on, Pia Young-Vik, what? She's crossed the... Oh no, there was a crossing there. Sorry, I was sorry for making everybody jump there.
Hanna Lundberg didn't execute it the perfect way. I think we were talking about 7-8 seconds in the men's race. So there's a bit of a chance to maybe get back a little bit closer for Simona Abersold.
Well, let's see what Hanna Lundberg can do as we follow her on her way to the second TV control. We will catch her coming down this street. She's going to take a left and then another left as well. And we really want to be comparing her time to that of Pia Young-Vik, who was in third at this point of the course at TV2, 4 seconds down. So is she going to go faster than Pia Young-Vik? the Swede is looking super strong here.
Going fast.
She's got to make sure she gets the entrance right. It's quite hard to see. There's just a little wall in the way. Makes it a little bit tricky, but this will be a new leading time here for Hannah Lundberg with only Simona Abersold after her. So 13 seconds faster than Gideson, but 17 seconds faster than Pia Young-Vik. Has she paced this one well? Will she get this next route choice correct as she takes this really short little route here?
But compared to Gideson, she lost about 11 seconds on the leg between 9 and 10. You can see it's actually quite close again. It was 23 seconds.
Yeah, and Abersold has just absolutely stormed it down that hill.
She might go straight there. Not the best execution either.
Okay, so here comes Abersold, and we'll now compare her to Hannah Lundberg. Abersold didn't make the best start.
And this is not the best option. I think she's going and passing.
Oh, she's going to go past 12.
It is an option, but
it is an option.
And actually, it was somewhere in between. It was 980 or something meters. So it's not the. She's not giving away the race, but it's not the best one if you go there.
No, because already at control number 9, Simona Abersold 23 seconds down, and so we'll see where she comes to at this next control number 10. And yeah, we've not seen many athletes do this one.
Don't think we have seen any one of the top athletes actually. But now she gets to see Hannah Lundberg. I think they will see each other. I might have seen her in the picture when I was looking at the GPS here. So still it's quite tight.
Ben Halyu's just finished, by the way. She was right up with the leaders at the start, just gone down into 21st. Here's Abersold, and you can see
21.
So it was 23 seconds, it's now 21 seconds. So compared to Lundberg, she's actually caught a little bit of time, but in 8th at the moment, changes the map. And she's 21 seconds down. But if you compare to Pia Young-Vik, she's 4 seconds down.
I have to say Natalia Kempele in 4th now.
Yeah, we haven't seen Natalia Kempele here. But Pia Young-Vik is the current leader. Hannah Lundberg looking fast around the course today. Natalia Kempele in contention for medals at the moment. So still some fast women out on the course today. Hannah Lundberg and Simona Abersold are the last starters.
That's...
What? Did she?
I'm not sure if
did she go through the
right. Well, let's say
this was her coming into.
Yeah, I think it was
10.
good. I think it was okay. It was fine.
I think they were just showing that to show that she had the encounter with the car, basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, Natalia Kempele, Swiss athlete, Russian-born Swiss athlete, into the second to last control. Sorry. How will she execute this? There's room for somebody to do this really well, but not sure it's going to be Kempele.
It's not going to be the lead. But I mean, she was about half a minute behind halfway through this course, 29 seconds at control 9. It's not as much as it was anymore. You can see it was only 2 seconds at TV2. But then compared to Gideson.
Yeah, exactly. Gliding through these last controls. Will it be enough for a medal position at the moment with the fast finishing Lundberg still too calm? It's going to be neck and neck with Kempele and Benjaminsen. So many times it has been. And where does she go? Oh, third, just 1 second faster than Benjaminsen. And that's high top speed at the end of the course, just putting her into third. So she's really climbed up through the rankings here and got stronger as the course has gone on.
Should have Hannah Lundberg very soon at control 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is already up again on the way to 16, second to last control. So this is definitely going to be the new leading time.
Yeah, she's flowing down these steps here, and Hannah Lundberg is on her way into the arena. It's looking really good for another World Cup win for Hannah Lundberg. Her first ever World Cup came just after COVID, where she was the first starter, and I think it's going to be enough for the win today for Hannah Lundberg. With only one runner, Simona Aebersold, still to come. Hannah Lundberg crosses the line. It's a 20-second lead ahead of Pia Young-Vik. And Hannah Lundberg is the leader at the finish with only one runner still to come. She goes immediately to go and download there, catching up with Natalia Gempela. And we have Simona Aebersold still on her way. At the last split, she was 20 seconds down. I think it will be enough for the victory here for Hannah Lundberg, the victory for Sweden.
I agree with you, but it's going to be a fight between Simona Aebersold, Teresa Roturier, and Pia Young-Vik for the second spot. A very good race here by Hannah Lundberg. I mean, we followed her throughout the course, and not the very best execution between 9 and 10, but no bigger mistakes, a very solid race. Quite similar to what we have seen with Tino Polsini in the men's race. And you can see that she is satisfied with it.
Yeah, nice execution in that first section. I mean, she was already, she was in the lead at control number 5, again in the lead by 10 seconds, in fact, at TV control number 1. There she can celebrate. There's her good friend Wilma von Krusenfuerner congratulating her, because Simona Aebersold is on her way in towards the finish. She's still got a couple of controls to go.
But she's
taken a different route. She's taken an easterly route choice down here. A different route compared to the others. This is going to be
tied for second and third.
Yeah, is this going to be enough for a medal for Simona Aebersold to get her 12th medal, her 12th World Cup medal? What is she going to do? She just collided with somebody there. She's got to do a U-turn here. It's not going to be enough for the silver, but will it be enough for the bronze? She's looking up at the screen, and she does get the bronze by just 2 seconds.
I'm very, very happy that she made it third, because otherwise there would be the discussion about this person in her way on the way to the last control.
And her 12th World Cup or better medal just running in Switzerland. An incredible home effort. And I think maybe not the race she wanted today, but I think we'll be happy to have saved a medal in that one. She's had a tough few weeks. I mean, we have to say she posted a few times on Instagram thinking a lot about the death of her godfather in the last couple of days. That had come after some tricky races in Belgium. And
it was not only her godfather, it was also her coach for quite a big part of her career, and a very close person she was talking about training and everything with. So I think that's one of the reasons we see her a bit
emotional,
shaky here.
Yeah, shaky in her orienteering and shaky in her emotions here on the finish line, but it's enough. She's kind of rescued, to be honest, a bronze medal from that race. But here's our winner, and it is the second ever World Cup win for Hannah Lundberg, the first one being in her first ever race as a senior. That very memorable middle distance in Idre, where she was the first starter and ended up winning that one. And 5 years later, she gets her second World Cup win, her second individual win, coming in the sprint here. You could tell it was, only time to get that one, and an impressive margin in the end. 20 seconds ahead of Pia Young-Vik, another consistent result for her. Really great result for Teresa Roturier, who I feel struggled a little bit last season.
And I think very impressive that we have Sanna Fast in 7th with all the mistakes we have seen. She must be in great physical form.
Yeah, and her lack of experience internationally on the sprint level, her first ever individual sprint at kind of racing for Sweden. We can see the other runners in there, headed Valbjørn Goodson into 5th place in the end. Rita Mara Morosi with mistakes there into 17th. Silla Gardoni, he was in the leader's chair as we started the broadcast for the women, in 19th. Grace Loy there just completing the top 20, and of course it's the top 36 that will qualify for Sunday's knockout sprint. So Kristin Melby Jakobsen there in 21st, and Isabel Toledo qualifying there for Spain. And I will just go down the results on my screen because I know it's not come up in there. 36th place, Wilma von Krusenfuerner just qualifying. Yves van Dongen are the medalists and the European champs into in 37th, so just missing out.
I can see different route choices here to the first control, and something that's a bit different compared to the men's race we have seen earlier. You can see here, by the way, that Simon Abersold, not the very best route to control 3. It's a bit different. Hanna Lundberg takes the lead quite early and puts a small gap between herself and the others. And she's defending that lead all the way, basically, from control 1 to the finish. It's close here with Pia Youngvik, but Pia Youngvik, this is a small mistake, exiting control 9 to the south and then going back again. And I think if she would have continued there, she would have a good chance to be very much closer to Hanna Lundberg, because it did make such a big difference if you go to the south or to the north. And different route choice here as well. Abersold, the only one of the elite, like the top runners we have seen in the broadcast, passing control 12. So here different route choices executed. No, there was a mistake by Abersold. She was going all the way around to control 13. Didn't see the entrance or missed the entrance. And in the end, it was a tough fight between Abersold and Youngvik at control 15, actually, and that route choice there to 16.
Hello, Anna. So first of all, congrats on your big win today. How do you feel about that?
Thank you. I think I can describe my feelings. I'm so grateful and happy, and I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. Okay. What was your strategy today, seeing that you had a massive lead in the end?
Oh, I just so nervous because before the race. I think I haven't been that nervous since the last season opening. So I was just talking with my coach before and said, okay, just take one control at a time and don't think too much forward. Just be here and right now.
Yeah, I guess you dealt pretty well with emotions today. And how do you feel about the next races?
Yeah, I think the races will be bangers, of course. Yeah.
Great. Okay. What did you like especially about the course today?
Yeah, I think it was both tricky and fast, and was changing a lot between them. So it was a lot about changing strategy and be concentrated all the way to the finish.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hanna. Congrats again.
Thank you.
So nerves at the start for Hanna Lundberg, but it was all worth it, taking one control at a time, staying in the moment, which is what you really had to do on a tricky course like this, especially with that first section around the Old Town. But look, fighting hard for the win today, and a 20-second lead overall, filling her with confidence. And I think you don't know what it's like to test yourself against all of the other racers. After the winter you've had, it's the first opportunity that all these athletes kind of come together and they test out their speed, test out their navigation under this much pressure, and with everybody in the best in the world pretty much there. And she's come out on top.
She is, and actually looking at the result list here, there's no clear favorite looking into the sprint relay tomorrow. There's not any nation that's grouping up on the very top of the result list. I think it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it really could, with different strengths across different teams, or people making mistakes. We've seen quite a few disqualifications today, as we see some pictures of our top 3 athletes crossing into the finish line. We'll have our flower ceremony very, very soon, awarding our flowers to the top 3. And your assessment of this course and how it's, we run the course always, Jonas, beforehand, and we kind of try and get a sense about how we think it's going to be, but you never really know until the top athletes go and run on it. I thought quite a few mistakes, especially on the women's course.
Yeah, but then when you're out there and you're out in the terrain and you see the kind of passages, I mean, there are cities and cities, and in a city especially in the first part, it's so hard to see the entrances. And also, I think when you're in an old town, sometimes it's very easy, but sometimes the passages look like entrance into a shop, and you have to be very, very careful in order to get right. And if that's the case, then there will be mistakes.
So we're bronze medal today, and an emotional Simona Aebersold to pick up the bronze. Her 12th medal just running in Switzerland. A tough race following the death of her coach and her godfather.
I think it was a former coach.
A former coach, indeed. And managed to get the bronze medal today. The silver medal. Pia Young-Vik has just crossed a threshold, and now she is so consistent on this sprint races. From the European champs, the World Cup final last year, and now into this first race of the World Cup this year, the Norwegian cementing her place on the podium here. But it was a decent margin from Hannah Lundberg today, and it is a win for Switzerland in the end. So on top of the podium, taking her second World Cup gold medal 5 years after her first one when she broke onto the scene. Hannah Lundberg takes the win here today. Collects her flowers, a 20-second lead for Hannah Lundberg, 15 minutes and 15 seconds. Longer than expected winning time in the heat, under the sun. The conditions are tough for sprinting today. A shock for some of the Northern Europeans coming down to compete in the mid-20s. And it's a jam-packed schedule at this World Cup race. These athletes have got to relax, recover, refuel now, ready for tomorrow's sprint relay, which of course is going to be exciting. We've had so many close sprint relays recently, and I think this is going to be another good one.
Just check the results from the men's race. We had 8 different nations in the top 10, and I mean, earlier years we had so many Swiss or so many Swedish runners in the top, but this year it seems to be very equal.
And that's going to be really exciting, I think, for that sprint relay. We can see lots of changes at the lead. Gone are the days when one team's been dominating the sprint relay, and I absolutely love it. There are World Cup points on offer today. Tino Polsini getting those 100 points, maximum points for him for the win. That will carry across through all 4 rounds of the World Cup this year. Hannah Lundberg picking up valuable 100 points to start off proceedings as well. Of course, the World Cup going over both the sprint and the forest sections of the season. The World Cup, the World Championships in Italy doesn't count, but we've got a World Cup coming up in Switzerland. In Sweden. We'll also go to Czechia and to Lithuania to end the season as well. So lots and lots of races still to come. Some comforting there. Pia Young-Vik, silver medalist, with the bronze medalist, Simona Aebersold. But it's been a fantastic set of races today, from the men's, the women's, around the small streets of the village here in Locarno Ascona, and then the big long leg, route choice deciding leg, and then the final section around the main part of the town here. Super fast, super tough racing, and there's so much more to come from the rest of this weekend. So do come back to us on Saturday for the sprint relay and Sunday for the knockout sprint. Loads more great racing still to come. We hope you enjoyed today's race, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.